some more topics under the chapter Population, Distribution, Testing, Growth and Composition. So as in the last video we have studied about the distribution and the density of the population. Even we have also studied a little about the growth of population. So in our today's video we are going to cover a few more topics on this chapter. That our today's topics are growth of population, under which we will study about the growth of population in the different places. In the second topic, we will study about the regional variation in population growth. Then after that, the next topic will be population composition. So in this, there are total 4 types which we will study. That is rural-urban composition. Number 2, linguistic composition. Number 3, religious composition. Number 4, composition of working population. And at the last, we will study, as we know, the gender issues are there. So due to that, the gender-wise population always it is fluctuating. So at the last, we will study about the social issues, in which we will study about the Beti Bachao Beti Padhao social campaign. So let's start our today's chapter with our today's first topic, growth of population, in which we are going to study growth of population in the different phases. So if we will go through the data analysis from last 1 century, and there will be 4 phases according to which we can divide the population. So these phases are phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 and phase 4. According to phase 1, that is from 1901 to 1921, the population growth was very low. As our country was dependent and the medical facilities, health facilities and other awareness were not there. So due to which the population growth was very low in the phase 1. If we talk about the phase 2, phase 2 is from 1921 to 1951. That time the population was in the steady growth. Means people are availing about their health facilities, they are availing the medical facilities. So a little bit change was there in the population growth. Then after that in the phase 3, that is from 1951 to 1981. Country was independent and many other medical facilities and many schemes were there from the government side, in which the intensity death rate was very low during that time. So it was a timing of the population explosion. So that is known as a high type of growth in the population in the phase 3, which was starting from 1951 to 1981. Then after that, the phase 4, which is going on till now, from 1981 to till the present, because after 2011, there is no population counting was there. So we will include till present. And now the techniques are very advanced and intensity death rate is totally negotiable. Means if some cases are there, if we leave the some cases, most of the deaths in the intensity are very low. So due to which the high population growth we can see. So let's see one more data analysis through which we will understand these 4 phases more better. So students, if we will go to the phase 1, which is also known as the period of stagnant of growth. Growth rate was very low. Even recorded a negative growth rate during 1911 to 1921 within these 10 years. Both the birth rate and the death rate was high, leading to low growth rate during this period. Why? Because of poor health and medical services, illiteracy and insufficient distribution system of food and other necessities were responsible for the low growth rate. If we will go through the phase 2, which is also known as the period of steady growth. It is due to the crude birth rate remaining high, but death rate came down, leading to an increase in population. Improvement in health and sanitation facilities, transport system and distribution system were mainly responsible for the steady growth of population. If we'll go through the phase 3, let's see. In the phase 3, which is also known as the period of population explosion, this was caused by rapid fall in mortality rate but high fertility rate. Post independence, the development activities through planning had to improve living condition leading to high birth rate. Apart from this, international migration was also responsible, bringing immigrations from other countries. And then after that, which is known as the fourth phase, which is post 1981 to till present. Growth rate has started showing a decline trends, decrease in the CBR due to an increase in male age at marriage, improved educational specialties and many other medical facilities. So these were the four phases due to which we can study the growth of population from few last decade, how it is growing in the condition of explosion. Now let's see the next topic, that is the regional variation in the population growth. So students, as you can see on the map, and we know our country is divided into the different regions. There are total 4 zones, that is North Zone, South Zone, Eastern Zone and the Western Zone. Also, due to the geographical area, there is a lots of variation in the regional population. So to know more about the regional variation in the population growth, let's see a quick short video to understand it more better. So, as we can see, the state of Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Goa have low rate of growth, which is around only 20%. A belt of state from west and east of Gujarat, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal, Assam, Bihar have high growth rate of population, which is around 20 to 25%. During 2001 to 2011, the growth rate of almost all states registered a lower rate compared to the previous decades. Reason for this variation is that people tend to concentrate in areas with moderate climatic condition, that is areas that are near the areas of moderate means neither too hot nor too dry, and also with adequate precipitation to support life activities. The population density tends to be high in the moderate areas, whereas it is very less in the harsh climatic condition. The extremes of climate tend to push people away from the region and make the region less attractive for human inhabitation. Same as India's western Rajasthan. It is characterized by high temperature and dry condition, due to which the population is very less in that region. So students, now we will see what is the population composition. Now let's see our next topic, that is population composition. We know population means a number, a lot of people in a given area. But all the people in our country, as we know, our country is a country of diversity, not in the manners of the regional verification, even in the different manners like age group, their gender, the religion, the languages and the cultural activities, even in the point of view of the different followers, that is also coming under a different kind of population, and the population of the different variation, those are living together, they are making a composition of population in the given area. So, the population composition can the field of study with coverage of age, gender, residence, ethnic characteristics, tribes, language, religion, literacy and education, marital status and occupational characteristics. So here we can include a lots of things under the population composition, which can be further classified into four different types, that is the rural-urban composition, number 2 is the linguistic composition, number 3 is the religious composition, and number 4 is the working population composition. So now we will see these all four types one by one, then what the meaning of these composition. So students, first we will see the rural-urban composition. The composition of population by their place of residence is an important indicator of socio-economic status of country. As we know, people of our country are living in the rural as well as the urban areas. So in India, around 68.8% live in the villages. Bihar or Sikkim have high percentage of small population. Goa and Maharashtra have almost 50% living in the urban areas. In few union territories, they are having some small percentage of small rural population, as Dadra and Nagar Haveli have around 53 of the rural population. The distribution of rural population reveals that both at intra and interstate levels, the relative degree of urbanization and extent of rural-urban migration regulated the concentration of the rural population. The urban population has increased in almost all the states and union territories as a result of development in socio-economic condition and rural-urban migration. The urban population is high along the main transport links in the North Indian plains, the industrial areas of Kolkata, Mumbai and other areas. And this is very low in the agriculturally strength areas of middle and lower Ganga plains, Telangana, non-irrigated western Rajasthan, remote hilly areas, desert, flood-prone areas of peninsular India. So that is the distribution of the rural-urban population composition. Then let's see what is the linguistic composition of the population. Linguistic composition means on the basis of their languages. So as per Linguistic Survey of India 1903 to 1928, there were 179 languages and 544 dialect, or we can say the vernacular languages in India. In modern India, there are about 22 scheduled languages and many non-scheduled languages. So according to that variation, Hindi has the highest percentage of user and the smallest language groups are Kashmiri and Sanskrit. Linguistic reasons do not maintain a sharp boundary, rather they merge gradually with each other. The speakers of major Indian languages belong to four languages families with their subfamily and branches. So here is a chart through which you can see the four language families. So in this, that is the Austric, or we can say the Nishadas. Second is the Dravidian. Third is for the Sino-Tibetan, and then after that Indo-European, which is also known as the Aryan, its percentage is around 73%. Now student, after seeing that chart, we become to know the most speaking languages are coming under the Aryans family, in which we can include outside India, Jammu and Kashmir, some areas of Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, UP, Rajasthan, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Odisha, West Bengal, Assam, Gujarat, Maharashtra and Goa, and which are covering a lots of area of the linguistic classification of the composition. So now let's see the religious composition. Religious affects the cultural and the political lives of most Indians. The spatial distribution of religious communities shows that certain states have more people following in a particular religion, while some regions or some religions may be represented very low area in other states. Hindu 70 to 90% from a major group in many states except the border along Pakistan, Bangladesh, Tibet and in some scattered areas within the country. Then Muslim, the largest religious minority, are mainly in Jammu and Kashmir, some districts of West Bengal, Kerala, Uttar Pradesh and in the Union Territories of Delhi and Lakshadweep. Now Christians are most concentrated in the rural areas of Chota Nagpur, hills of Manipur, Goa, Kerala, Mizoram, Meghalaya and Nagaland. Sikhs are concentrated in Punjab, Haryana and Delhi. Now the Jains and Buddhists are from the smallest religious groups and are concentrated in selected areas. Jains in urban areas of Rajasthan, Gujarat and Maharashtra, while the Buddhists are in Maharashtra, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Ladakh, Tripura, Lahul and Spiti in Himachal Pradesh. Some other religions of India are the Zoroastrian, tribal and other indigenous faiths and beliefs. Now these were some different aspects. Now we will go through the composition of working population. According to economic status, Indian population is divided into main workers, those are known as who work for at least 183 days in a year. Then marginal workers who works for less than 183 days or 6 months in a year. Then non-workers who do not work. So workers, both main and marginal, are only 39.8% of the population. Thus, 60% remain as non-workers, thereby leading to an increase of dependent population. So students, if we go through under the working population composition, we know India is a country of agriculture and activities are also divided into three parts, that is the primary activities, secondary activities and the tertiary activities. So in our country, out of 100%, around 55% or we can say more than the half population of our country is included in the primary type of activities, that is known as the agricultural activities, in which the percentage of the labours is around 55, in which we can include agricultural labours and the cultivators. Then after that, in the secondary type of activities are including the householding work. We can include around 3.8% in the householding industries. Then after that, around 41.6%, in which we can include the tertiary activities, in which the other workers, those are not from the agricultural or householding industries. These workers we can include, trade and commerce we can include, even the construction and the repair work also we can include in the tertiary activities. So that is the occupational composition, in which the area-wise occupational composition is also there. Let's look on a map through which we can see what is the regional occupational composition of the population. So students, if we'll go through the map, the share of the occupational composition. In Himachal Pradesh and Nagaland have large share of the cultivators, whereas Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Jharkhand, West Bengal have higher proportion of agricultural laborers. And in the other hand, union territories like Chandigarh, Pondicherry, and city Delhi, home of for people in services, reflecting upon lesser availability of farming land and large-scale urbanization and industrialization. So that is the spatial variation of work population rate. So students, here we are going to our next topic, which is a social topic and a most flammable topic also we can say, that is the social issues for the gender discrimination, in which the population of female is always very low as compared to the male population. It is because there are very stereotypes. The system of our society is arrogant for the females. The illiteracy rate of the female is low. Even many cases are there due to which the female birth is low. So, due to that, after seeing the causes, the government has decided to start some schemes, in which one most popular scheme is known as the Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, in which the government has decided to provide some facilities like a kind of fund for the girl child, in which the education of girl child is free in the government schools. They are having a lots of facilities and subsidies in many fields. So let's see a quick video and introduction of the government scheme Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. So students, here our first chapter is complete. Hope you understood it. In the next video, we will study the second chapter of the same book, that is the migration. For that, keep watching SSD